De instructeur was bezig, ja, goed.
잠시만요. 예스. 아무도 없다. 샤워실.
진짜 대박.
저 아까 여기 오려고 했는데.
맛집 같아요.
인스타 감성? 아 근데 진짜 잘하면 먹을 수 있을 것 같지 않아요? 어.
뭐지 한번 짠 해드릴까요?
짠.
맥주를 먹고 있어. 근데 막 직원이
We will call you back.
안녕하십니까.
안녕하세요. 힘드시죠?
잠깐 저 자도 돼요. 여기 되게 분위기 좋다.
문이 닫혀 있는 거예요.
휴문가 보네. 시간도 봐야 돼요.
어떤 거?
너무 짜던데? 아까 여기 디저트 같은 거를 꼭 먹더라고요. 어디까지 가는 거야? 그렇게 사라졌어요. 그렇게 사라졌다고 합니다. 시원하다. 아직까지는.
뭔가 해지면
와 멋있다. 어떤 데서 기억이 안 나. 아 비왔다. 저 너무 무서운데? 와 난리나. 와 무슨 놀이공원 온 것 같아.
재밌죠?
진짜 재밌다 이거. 별거 아니야. 저것도 보니까 저런 거 좋아하네. 저기 자유로스윙 같은 거. 저기 초록색.
아니 진짜 무서운데
예. 귀여워. 약간 가족 축제네. 피쉬오브로 저 유명한 데. 저 인형이 너무 귀여워. 맞아. 날씨가 좀 너무 좋아. 멋있다. 저거 안 해? 근데 이거 자리 널널한데요? 와, 사람 소리밖에 안 들려. 아 이게 약간 이런 느낌이구나. 어제 말했던 게. 뭐야?
모나이콘 없나요 여기는?
부메랑이요? 감자 식감이 떡 같다고.
감자로 만든 돈플링이라고 표현하더라고요.
아 감사합니다.
저 구운 거예요?
감자가 제일 맛있는 거.
완전 저거 미쳤어. 와, 나 진짜 나 저거
그나마 싹.
와, 근데 저거 꽤 오래 있는다. 근데 진짜 저걸 어쩌자는 거야? 아, 근데 하늘이 진짜 예쁜데? 와, 근데 풍경을 못 보게 되게 빨리 돌아.
하기 잘한 거 같아.
그니까. Beautiful. 갑자기 스탠딩 됐어.
한국 옆에 맞더라.
그만해 이제.
저한테 뭐 메시 메시 버그 메시 버그.
Sendlinger Tor, Umstieg.
Das habe ich gelesen, dass es
Yes. 뭐라고 써 있는 거지? 오.
Umsteigemöglichkeit zur Straßenbahnlinie 7. Nächste Haltestelle.
와, 멋있다. Hello.
If you want to take a shower here,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. And I should eat like Nuremberg sausage. I know that sausage is famous.
Okay. If you want this evening, okay, I can give you a guide in the city if you want.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
On the castle to see you something or to show you something. It's not time for rest because we have see the castle.
Yeah,
In
just
my
taking.
living room because a big palm is still in the it's green.
Too long, so you.
No, it's now sometimes I have to cut it or just to
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of mixed new ones.
If a building was completely still more
Mhm.
around the city.
Und wenn jemand sagt, wir haben Herzen sind geimpft und eben auch Pfizer BioNTech, damit man Argentinien und Brasilien über die Rolle dieses Expertenteams, den Sie auch dort an
For store, beer and wheat and something.
Okay.
Ancient times
Beautiful.
for the very
I see that. Is it for tourists?
no it's for tourists.
Oh, okay.
It's for tourists and tourists.
So you also come here?
Okay, because it's at noon,
Uh-huh.
at 12 o'clock.
So at noon it's just turning around? Okay.
From the structures from Middle Ages.
Oh, okay. Just gold things.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
and it brings you fortune.
2 times and fortune. Okay.
With you, I can be sad with you. Just take my hand and fly up through the dreams where the skies are so clear. With you, I wanna stay with you.
Couldn't come into.
Yeah.
Aber auch Bahnhof ist eher von uns ausgesetzt.
Over there.
The tower
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
It was built in the 70s for the radio and TV.
Okay.
And then
Ja. Mit der Allee.
This is a cool spot. Most of them are German, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hope that
Wow.
this is a very old.
Uh-huh.
And then it was filled with the
Ah.
bottle.
Ah, okay.
You know, and this is protected your face from when the bottle exploded also.
Ah.
This is so regular. Zahl das gleich.
5,20 € bitte.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
wheat beer. They have wheat beer too.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Wheat beer in Belgium. And from 7 o'clock in the evening, it was windy. Who won the marathon?
이봉주. 이봉주.
He's a Korean athlete. He's the famous. I don't know. Maybe he won.
Too heavy. It's too.
E49 nach Sonneberg Hauptbahnhof.
We took the road down past the ocean, worried for winter above. My lips brushed your smile, our feet dance ahead for Strawberry Mountain in the sky. Forgive me if I get too tired. Thank you.
어떻게 하는 거지?
Bitte folgen Sie hier in Wedding Hauptbahnhof tief der Ausstieg Fahrtrichtung.
빵. 아이. 줄? 0.9? 보자. 감자가 어딨어? 파스타도 있고, 샌드위치. 맛있겠다. 맛있겠다. 베를린 역시 깔끔한 느낌. 다 유반.
If you're looking for an empty space, there's a place we can all relate. Life's nothing when we isolate, but when we find
butter and the onions, spring onions.
Bring it.
And,
Okay.
And
Hey, just butter.
just butter.
Just butter, yeah. Thank you. 와, 정말 이 동네 사람이 아무도 되게 조용하고 그리스 와인.
Today?
To go? Yeah. 저긴가?
Seconds. Ace win in the history of the BMW Roland Mazda Cup. Aber die gut geladenen Marathonisten, können wir von euch noch was hören? Seite. Eine unglaubliche Atmosphäre. Wenn ich einmal
Ok, không, thằng đấy nhà nó.
Was cheesy, right?
Yes, okay, yeah. I have a bag at home that I can throw the holes. This is so small, bigger than
I'll sing you a song from the front line. I'll sell you my soul for a lead coin. Don't have a gun, doesn't matter. Don't have a gun, doesn't matter. I'll give you a taste of a goodbye. I'll save you a kiss, I don't know why. You know how it is.
여기 현지인들만 아는 데인데.
그런 거 같아요.
여기 빈티지 되게 유명한 데입니다.
아 제가 좀 좋아해가지고 충분히 못 봤는데 끝나가지고
9시 시작해가지고 5시 때 끝났네. 배우 이현희 씨도 왔다 갔어.
아 진짜요?
이현희 씨도 비빔밥 먹고 존나 맛있다고. 저러 가세요! 이러진 않았지. 이러진 않았는데.
How many ways to get what you want? I want the best, and I want the rest. I want anarchy. Monarchy. Anarchy. Ho, ho. Everybody don't shit fucks. I don't give a good goddamn. Your Uncle Sam is a motherfucker. I don't wanna see him again. I should pretend.
Keep a safe distance. Cover their ears. They don't want to hear their own hymn. Put your choir in the basement, sing again. Body is yours. You don't have to declare to share it, though. Jumped in, I went and you wait for our history. Just another memory, just another memory that I can only dream of now. Oh,
와우. 가서. 되게 신선해 보여.
And that one too.
와사비. 우와. 우와, 이거 맛있겠다. 이거 너무 계속.
Dankeschön.
되게 맛있겠는데 좀.
Jawohl, das habe ich mir schon gedacht. Jetzt aber Sie, der ist schon fertig.
맛있어. 맛있다 이거. 이건 다 성공. 와 예쁘다. 와 진짜 높다.
Leute, wie bei Verkehrsschein.